All right, good morning to each and every one, to persons viewing this proceedings. We are here to officially launch the 2025 Kreyol Memorial Day Cup. This is a tournament, it's an international tournament that will be held on three destinations, which is Martinique, Dominica, and Guadeloupe. This tournament we will see from all the way from West Africa, Benin national team, gracing us with their presence. So before we commence the proceedings or commence the press conference, we're gonna have a few words of prayer to bring the Lord in our mix. I ask everybody to stand. All right, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here this morning and on this very special occasion. We ask you to bless these proceedings, bless this tournament, bless the organizers, the participants, everyone. Let us bless us so that we may achieve our objective, our goal in regards to this very important regional, international basketball tournament. In your name I pray. Amen. So again, I want to welcome everyone, our head table. Today we have with us the national captain. In many years, we have not seen a national team assemble. And we have our current MVP and also the captain of the national basketball team for Dominica, Mr. Lester Langley. Next to him is our president, Mr. Donnie Robinson. We know him as one of our elite basketball player over the years. He would be also gracing us with his words of encouragement. We also have from marketing officer from the Express Whitchurch Company, Desma Patrick. With us also is the DFC Festival and Events Manager, Iodel Andrew, the ambassador to Costa Rica and chairman of the Reparation Committee, Ms. Dr. Damien Dublin, and our Creole language culture ambassador, Ambassador Leroy Waddix Charles. And welcome to the media this morning for this very important launching and information session as well. So I now call on the president of the Dominica Amateur Basketball Association and also the head coach of our national team, Donnie Robinson, to give us a few words.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Let me just recognize the presence. We have our ambassador, our cultural ambassador, Mr. Charles, Dr. Dublin, our national ambassador here, and good to see some representation. Ms. Patrick from our affiliate and really good sponsor that's on board with us. Ms. Andrew from DFC, the viewers, the media, and everyone else that's gracing us with their presence. So I get the chance this morning to speak in two capacities. One from the head coach of the national team, but more importantly as the president of the Board Association. And one of our pillars in our strategic plan 3 years ago when we set out to do it, and really being satisfied with the fact that we were one of the first sports organization to have a strategic plan, was that we will get an opportunity to showcase our young talents outside of the country, to provide the opportunity for our young players to be able to explore the avenue, grow basketball, and most importantly, from a cultural standpoint, exchange values, opinions, and maybe share some common grounds. This is one of the tournaments in the uh, Memorial Day Cup that allows us to do that. And for the first time, being able to reach outside the boundaries of even the OCS. And we're very happy to be part of that. From a coaching standpoint, we've spent better part of a few weeks trying to put a team together. And one of the things that I can assure you is that the team, while it's fairly new, we haven't had a national team in over 8 years or senior level. We will definitely be able to put a good showing and put our best based on what we have. But more importantly, it's about the opportunity for exchange, the opportunity to give, as I said, the young players, and most importantly too, the national audience, um, the chance to see what sports can do in terms of culture, in terms of development, and in terms of opportunity. So while we are launching this from that standpoint, I want us to really keep in mind that we have a group of 12 young men that have dedicated their time past couple of weeks to make sure that they're first available. And I think part of my job is to get them ready for the tournament. So you will see we have about 8 guys that are representing national team or representing Dominica for the first time at the senior level. So that in itself is a feat to behold, because it's not easy getting on that stage and being ready to deliver at that level. Having said that, the challenges are still very in front of us, and I'm really happy, and I want to stress the importance of partnership in tournaments such as these, both from all the authorities involved, especially our cultural ambassador. I want to give him some really thank him a lot for the extra effort that went into making sure that this happens. One of the things that we have experienced in this short 3 years of trying to put these plans into reality is the countless times that we prepare for tournaments and we're not able to attend. And most times it's for economic purposes. So I'm happy that we have some sponsors on board, the DFC, the Express Diesel, and the Lotto, that has come, and the authorities that have come on board to make sure that this happens, because that is what will encourage the participation from our players, and that can help us to bring out the best players and make themselves available. So I'm just happy that we are actually seeing this happening. It's been a long road, and obviously it's the beginning. We have to start somewhere, and I'm very, very excited to see that we have a core of young players that we can build from. And I can't wait to see what the next 3 to 5 years would be for national level. So again, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to do that. And I can assure you that we will put our best foot forward every opportunity we get, in representing the country and making sure that the whole purpose of tournaments like this are fulfilled, both from sporting, cultural, economic, and just human experiences, taken full advantage of. So again, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robinson. And as Mr. Robinson said, the journey has just begun in regards to bringing back to our national team, our national pride. Over the years, persons have known that Dominica has produced some excellent basketball players. And I think the foundation has been laid for the past 3 years in regards to the leagues. And now we are now rolling out our national team, our national program for the future. As indicated, the majority of the team is made up of young players, but also in our presence we have the captain, a veteran player, not only in basketball but also in football, very passionate about the game, and willing to assist the younger players. And who better to lead the national team than our current MVP, Lester Langley?
Good day, everyone. The head table, head personnel, media, our listeners. Um, I just want to say it's quite a privilege that we can once again have a national senior basketball team, and we have to say thank God for the new regime that is here. I myself, personally, I really happy to see the turnout of young persons, which we know we have a lot of senior persons playing and still keeping up the sport of basketball. then to have that core of young persons coming up, and we can give thanks to guys like Maggie, Dunstan Peters, and these other coaches that has the young men coming up, that we can get a chosen few of them to at least represent on the senior level. In all, I want to say you can look forward to us, me and the young men, giving our all, doing our best to represent Dominica, represent the sponsors, and making everybody proud, and to do the very best that we can do, not just out there, even when we come back in and represent Dominica as leaders, not just me being a captain, but every individual on the team is a leader, especially when he comes back home to his teams. So that in itself, we just want to say thank you for allowing us to be the ones who are representing Dominica in basketball. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Lester. And again, guys, to the public, do come out and support the young men along with our veteran and current MVP, Lester. This is a new beginning for Dominica basketball, and it's also going to be a platform to promote the skills that we have in our young men, and also those to come would see something to work towards. I would now call on the next presenter, who this company Express is connecting and has connected Dominicans and Guadeloupans and Martinique persons to exchange, to, congregate, to meet, to socialize. And they have also now come on board again to assist in transporting the teams across the waters to take part in this very important tournament. So I call on now the marketing officer, Ms. Desma Patrick.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of FRS Express des Îles, it is truly a pleasure to be here as a sponsor today of the Kreyol Memorial Day Cup. This event is more than just a basketball tournament. It is a celebration of cultures, unity, and the incredible talent that lies across our Creole communities. With 4 teams representing 3 different territories, this championship brings together not only athletes, but also fans, family, and a spirit of healthy competition. At FRX Express, in moving people forward, both literally and figuratively. This is why we are honored to sponsor this tournament, ensuring that borders never stand in the way of passion, teamwork, and opportunity. To the players, play hard, play fair, and know that you are inspiring the next generation with every pass, jump, shoot, and hustle. Best of luck to all the teams. We are cheering for you every step of the way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Patrick. I now call on the ambassador to the Costa Rica and chairman of the reparation committee, Dr. Damien Dublin, to give us a few words.
Yeah, good morning. Recognition of the head table press. Maggie, I must call you out. I know you're key in this organizing this event. I'm here representing I'm chairman of the Dominica Reparations Committee. So in that capacity, we see the connection and the our African ancestors first came here in chains, and now we're seeing a team from Benin coming freely. So for us, that's a big achievement, and we want to that connection exists, and we're happy to be part of this process. We want to really thank everybody who made it possible. I know Alex played a big role, sponsors, and the collaboration, Jerry himself. And this is a historic occasion, and calling all the Dominicans to just overflow, massacre, and come and see the games. Besides the talent, the talent that's gonna be exposed, the young talent, and we this is more than basketball. That is a Creole cultural movement because the other aspects of it is the opportunities for the players. You never know. Some of them might be exposed. One or two can get connections and end up in Africa, otherwise playing. So these are the possibilities. So we want to thank the coach and my good friend from Massa who has been at it. He deserves some special award because they have been holding the basketball there for so long. I remember seeing the little boy come in Massa and play, and you're still at it. So I want to give you some more strength. And people, Dominica, I addressing you. This is our things, our people, our ancestors making the connection from Africa to Dominica. So we cannot let that opportunity pass by. So we just ask you to come and support whatever way you can, and we want everybody on board. So on behalf of the reparations committee, we pledge our full support. And I just want to inform that May 25th is Africa Day. We'll be celebrating as usual. We have a match. Transport will be available from People's Park at 3 p.m., matching up to Paradise Pier and the activities, solidarity. This year, particularly, we focusing on Burkina Faso. We know they have a leader there who's causing a revolution in Africa. So we have to give him support. We have to give him solidarity because we know many attempts have been made on his life, and we have to express our solidarity because his role is important in shaping the new Africa and getting us that connection. I want to close by saying there is an established direct route between Africa and Barbados, Ghana and Barbados, Nigeria to Jamaica, direct route, which CARICOM is trying to reassess. Because you see, this phone here, I mean, we are independent, we are liberated, but our colonizers always find ways to hold us down. They make sure that to go Africa, you have to go to England. So you spend how much hours to go to England, and then you go England, you have to go across to Africa. Whereas you can go in 4.5, 5, 6 hours direct to Africa. So in this generation, we have to make that happen, create that direct connection between the Caribbean and Africa, because that when they came direct. So we should be able to go direct back to the motherland. So really, I just want to big up all who involved. And to me, it's a historical occasion that I want to be part of. So once I have life, I shall be there, and I'm encouraging everybody to be part of the movement. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dublin. I just want to say my first sighting of Dr. Dublin was a photo of him in Guadeloupe in his Dominica colors, supporting Dominica before I knew it was Dr. Dublin. I want to thank you for continuing to encourage. You have personally encouraged me from time to time. So I just want to thank you for the support. I now call on Ayodele Andrew, Miss Ayodele Andrew, the Festival and Events Manager at the Dominica Festival Commission.
Right. Good day, everyone. Say greetings, esteemed guests, athletes, and fellow enthusiasts. The Discover Dominica Authority is thrilled to support Dominica's participation and hosting of Kreyol Memorial Day Cup. This is a dynamic event that truly embodies the rich cultural heritage and extraordinary sporting talent in our region. As a nation deeply proud of our Creole heritage, we extend the warmest welcome, and with open arms, we are ready to showcase our hospitality and passion for the game of basketball. This tournament is far more than just a series of games. It is a powerful catalyst that not only promotes athletic excellence and fierce competition, but it also strengthens enduring bonds of kinship between neighbors, so neighbors of Guadeloupe and Martinique. It is a celebration that fosters a profound appreciation for our shared cultural identity, a legacy woven through generations and expressed in every cheer, every drumbeat, and every electrifying moment on the court. Hosting a leg of the Kreyol Memorial Day Cup here in Dominica is a distinct honor, and it affords us a remarkable opportunity. We have the incredible privilege of highlighting the breathtaking natural beauty of our island, our fresh food, clean water, incredible hiking trails, all for keeping athletes fit and healthy. The prestigious event will undoubtedly contribute to the local economy, our local businesses, hotels, restaurants, service providers like the taxi services, our caterers, and we will see that there will be benefits from hosting this tournament to the tourism industry. We that the Creole Memorial Day Cup will ignite a fire within our youth, inspiring young Dominicans to pursue their athletic dreams with passion and dedication. This event strategically positions Dominica as a must visit destination for sport tourism, attracting visitors from around the region and the world, as far as Africa, to who share shared passion for thrilling competition and enriching cultural experiences. We are not just hosting a tournament. We are inviting participants, fans, friends, and families to discover the magic of Dominica. A special note of profound significance: Benin has a national team in this year's Creole Memorial Day Cup. Benin's inclusion adds a unique and deeply resonant dimension to this tournament. It represents a powerful and tangible connection to the African continent, the ancestral homeland of so many of us Caribbean people. This connection enriches the cultural exchange beyond measure, opening a line of shared heritage and deepening the sense of unity that this tournament embodies. It's a homecoming of sorts, a celebration of roots and resilience. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the organizers for their visionary leadership in creating this extraordinary event. We eagerly at an exhilarating tournament that will leave an enduring legacy, a legacy of sportsmanship that transcends borders, a cultural exchange that enriches our souls, and a regional unity that strengthens us all. We encourage each and every Dominican to support the Creole Day Memorial Cup by attending the games and cheering for the teams and, of course, supporting our very own national team. See you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Andrew, and to the public as you hear from our festival and events manager. See you all at Massac. Before I call on our final speaker, and you can say the save the best for last, not saying the others are not the best, but this gentleman has been passionate about the culture, the Creole culture. And within this tournament, we have created three niche in the tourism pie, which is memory tourism, cultural tourism, and sports tourism, all in one. And one of the things that when we conceptualized this, it was an opportunity to help promote the destination where imagine you can leave from Africa, leave from Europe, spend 8 to 10 days in the Caribbean, and you're able to island hop and salvage, um, experience three different cultures. The Creole language is a very important language because that was the language in when in research and listening to persons that is what kept our African brothers and our of different language, different backgrounds kept us together. And so we're seeing again today in this modern day that this is the language that is keeping us together. We have seen the Creole World Creole Music Festival, what it has brought to the island. Just imagine now that we're now twinning sports and Creole together to again to tap into that niche that has millions and millions of followers and visitors. So I now call, or before I call Mr. Ambassador Charles, we have also branded and we will brand the national team as the Booyah Boys. We feel that the Booyah music is trending. Um, and just imagine some Benin players dancing to Booyah music at Massac. They upload it on their Instagram page. Just imagine the impact of it. It's as simple as that. So to us, this tournament, no matter the hurdles and obstacles that we have faced, is very important to help grow our economy, to help grow our tourism product. That being said, I call on Mr. Ambassador Leroy Wadix Charles, our cultural ambassador, to say a few words to us.
Thank you very much, moderator and MC, as we want to acknowledge Dr. Damian Dublin, Pan Africanist, also an ambassador. Ayodele Andrew, the events manager at Discover Dominica Authority, DFC, or representative from HHV Research and Company, Agents for Express Brazil, who is actually communicating and networking and getting us across to the various destinations. Donnie Robinson, the coach, and also the president of the Dominica Basketball Association, and our captain of the Bouillon Boys, of a special MVP in basketball in Dominica. We also want to say thank you to the media here present. And I want to start with a quote, as a matter of fact, one of my favorite quotes. A people without a knowledge of the history and culture is like a tree without roots. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Sports and culture still appear to be the side child. Sports and culture in Dominica still appears to be the side child. When are we going to realize how important sports tourism is? When we look at what it has done for Jamaica, when we just recently saw what it did for St. Lucia, last summer what it did for Dominica with Thea Lafo, the time has come, Dominica, when we have to embrace those who aspire to be the greatest. We have been asking ourselves, what can we do for our beautiful country? Sports is one of the ways the young people can use their energies to move this country to the next level, to get this country known, to get this country distinguished from the Dominican Republic. I'm appealing to every single Dominican to let's embrace sports and culture in Dominica. It's our spinal cord. It's our nucleus. It's what makes us a vibrant Dominica. And I really want to endorse and embrace this particular tournament, mainly because it has far reaching dividends for Dominica. For the first time ever, an African country is coming to Dominica. I'm not sure if you were any in the OECS before, but I know St. Lucia is envying this opportunity after speaking to several people from St. Lucia. They are wondering why they are not involved. Dominica, the neutral island, is involved. Dominica is an integral part of organizing this major tournament. A space when we reflect, we were stolen, taken away from the motherland, brought us across the Atlantic. Millions of our forefathers' blood are beneath the Atlantic Ocean. We came to Dominica and we were separated from our families. Mother, father were all over, possibly different countries. And according to Gordon Henderson, nous travaillons pour rien. Very, very critical. Nous travaillons pour rien. We were sold like merchandise. And here is an opportunity through sports where a West African country is now going to visit Dominica. What irony! And we'll visit Dominica the day before we celebrate Africa Day, which used to be Africa Liberation Day, which is on the 25th, like you heard from Dr. Dublin. On the 24th, history will be created. The first ever African team, and in particular West African team of Benin, will visit Dominica. This is history. Who knows what can happen from this cultural and sporting exchange? Who knows the unlimited opportunities that may be available by this one event, four destinations, three destinations, but within a space. And within our 289 square mile gem, Dominica happens to be in the center of this historic event, the 2025 Kreyol Day Memorial Cup. Very importantly, the liberation or the abolition of slavery in Martinique is on the 22nd. Very importantly, the liberation for the abolition or the commemoration or the abolition of slavery in Guadeloupe is on the 27th. Africa Day is on the 25th. So we can see how unique this historic event is. Let us not take this for granted, Dominica. We struggled and continue to struggle to get these young ambassadors to Martinique and to Guadeloupe. Sports in general continues to struggle for the mercantile community to partner. Sports and culture continue to struggle because of the non-inclusion of tangible budgetary arrangements. We are at the mercy of the recurring sponsors, the same old sponsors that we have to go to and beg every time that you have an event, that you have a sporting historic event such as this. The magnitude of this is unlimited. Who knows where the images may reach? Those days with the advent of social media, an African team, who knows how far the images and the opportunities are now open for us to maximize. We know the amount of products we have. As a matter of fact, the leg will start in Martinique on the 22nd and we come to Dominica on the 24th to climax in Guadeloupe. And we are appealing to the small business sector because what we are doing in Martinique in Gossé, we'll be having an exhibition. So you can be part of this exhibition by contacting Jerry Williams or DDA or possibly Donnie Robinson or Maggie to be part of this exhibition. So who knows? We are already making arrangements to see if we could get the West African team of Benin to possibly match on Africa Day in that special match. Just try to imagine the magnitude of that history. Dr. Dublin, where the original people from the motherland mix up with the diaspora in one celebration of Africa Day in one celebration of Creole people, indigenous people. We have a history, we have a legacy. Gone are the days when we were lied to by our masters. They try to make us believe the Creole language is not important. They try to make us believe that if we learn Creole, it would affect our English. There are people that learn in 5 and 6 and 7 languages and they excel at them. In St. Lucia, the Creole language is the national language. English is the official language. I'm appealing. I'm on my knees begging that we elevate the Creole language. This is who we are. We now see Trinidad making strides because Trinidad was once a Creole, totally Creole country. And you heard the history. They were colonized by Spain. There were just about 3,000 inhabitants. And then that huge mass of land, they needed people. And where they got it from Haiti. So they brought the population from 3,000 to 20 plus thousand people with Haitians coming in. What Haitians spoke? Kreyol. So Trinidad became a Creole country. Now what the masters did, they brought in teachers from Barbados. Barbados was never colonized. It was always English. So they brought teachers now from Barbados to brainwash the Creole people and make them know that the mother tongue is now English. We are fortunate to have that Creole language and it's alive in Dominica. I'm presently organizing with a few teachers a Creole club where we can continue to teach the children to speak the language. We know that the ministry is feverishly trying to get the Creole in the schools, but we need a Creole policy. So we have all over Dominica signage Creole. And we are not ashamed to speak the language. Shouldn't be ashamed to speak the language. Our forefathers came down. They could not communicate with each other because we brought them all over the place. So you know what they did? They created their own language so they could communicate, and that's Creole. That is our legacy. That is a gift from our forefathers. Why do we want to lose it? So I want to remind us, Dominica, this particular tournament holds unlimited opportunities. I'm calling on the media, evangelize the information. I'm calling on every Dominican go on social media and continue to make the world know that Dominica is truly the mecca of Creole integration. And at the same time, I really want to thank people like Maggie for what he has been doing. And I see two sportscasters there. I want to really thank them for the work that they are doing, going through the cracks and crevices and getting the information of our budding talents and bring to the fore. When last have we had a basketball tournament in Dominica where a national team could be represented and move? When last? We have to this time. We're Dominica on the 24th. Dominica will take on Benin and Guadeloupe will take on Martinique live in Dominica at the Massac facility. History is going to be created. So Dominicans, I really want to thank all those who are part of this. I want to thank DBS Radio and all our partners. I want to thank the Dominican Lotteries Commission. I want to thank the Discover Dominica Authority, the Ministry of Culture, and every single sector of Dominica who haven't come on board. Let's embrace this opportunity. This is something happening. An energy is flowing that we cannot even control it. It cannot be stopped. Useless we try to stop it. Africa is coming to the Caribbean. Africa is coming to Dominica. Africa will be in this on this rock. And they will march with us on Africa Day. We'll have an opportunity to see and feel our brothers from the motherland and play alongside them live in Dominica. Document this occasion, Dominica. And remember, it is for all of us because we are one people. And I will leave with the same quote I started with: a people without the knowledge of their history and culture is like a tree without branches. Marcus Mosiah Gabi. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Charles. The public, you have heard the ambassador, you have heard his appeal. Do come out on Saturday to view your national team do battle against Benin, to also witness Martinique versus Guadeloupe. But also before that, we have the tournament taking place in Martinique on the 22nd. It will be streamed live, so persons will have an opportunity to see Martinique against Benin and Dominica against Guadeloupe. And then we head over to Guadeloupe, where Guadeloupe plays Benin and we play against Martinique. And we're observing again the Memorial Day for both islands and then the African Liberation Day. So I want to take this opportunity to thank each and everyone before. Sorry, I was so moved by Mr. Ambassador's speech. I wanted to drop the mic and just leave, you know. But let's have some questions from the media. Okay, after the questions, I would announce the team. Hmm? Okay, so let me get running a bit. You know. Hmm? Okay, sure.
Ok, kon ka ese toube ekip la, nou ka di spesyal bonjou pou tout moun ki ka ekoute nou. Ça, c'est un plaisir encore, c'est une grande occasion, monsieur, Dominique au Côte Afrique, ça c'est Dominique au Côte Bénin. Nous avons une grande invitation pour tout le monde, à tout quoi la Dominique, c'est pour nous descendre massacre. Ça c'est samedi qui vient là, monsieur, pas oublier ça, monsieur. Il est dégauché. Équipe la Dominique, mi capitaine là, là. Et puis mi coach là, là. Équipe la Dominique, qui a assou, ou un podium, au podium international, monsieur, mesdames, nous avons joué au Côte Bénin. Et Guadeloupe, Martinique. Ça, c'est un gros événement, c'est 20 dollars seulement pour rentrer. Et puis, nous avons invité tout le monde, à tout coin la Dominique, même si c'est wheelbarrow, c'est tram, c'est truck, c'est jeep. Descendre massacre, nous remplir place là. Et puis, faire Dominique. Même si Dominique va gagner, même si Dominique gagne, ça, c'est pas importance là. Importance là, c'est nous qui jouer ensemble, Africain et Dominique. Et si on tape pour nous créoliser, on nous, et puis, restez tranquille. Fais ces monde la connaître Dominique, c'est number one, mais c'est le numéro un. Toujours un plaisir. Fais ça, c'est pour la pas tout gros show à monsieur Koyo. Le gars, il est bon petit contre la Dominique. Merci, ok.
All right, so thank you very much. I was going to say something cool, but I remember it. So, okay. All right. So the national team, again, let me again thank the players who came out to train and who have been selected. Our captain, Lester Langley, who represented Detroit Blazers, the national champion, and also our current MVP. We have Kiefer Francis, who is a member of the Dr. Darrow PSC Falcons. We have Maxwell Birmingham, who is a member of the Detroit Blazers, and also the son of Derek Birmingham, who is a former national player and a teammate of Donny. So just imagine Donny is now coaching his son. So all this is a part of memory tourism, you know, remembering and keeping the hope alive. We have Andel Olivache, who is a member of the 767 Dominators. Jamal Peltier, who is a member of the BAA Sharks, a very exciting team. Don't forget BAA Sharks. Okay. Jaden Scotland, a member of the BA Sharks, first ever player from the Benz community to make our senior national team. We also had a junior national player in Lennon Matthew, but he's the first in regards to a senior, which is a very good and rewarding moment for the community. Shama Felicite from the Paybush Super Eagles, Yoani Ridges from the Dr. Darrow Pichler Falcons, Rennie Williams from the 767 Happy Dominators. Rennie's father also played at the youth level for the national team. Mishak Dubele, a very exciting inter-school. I think he has the record for the most points scored on the island, which is 63 points. So, and 61 last year. So imagine the scoring machine of this young man. Tilon Birmingham, also the son of Derek, and again, coached by his former teammate. And last on the list, but not least, there is this Jeswan Lee, a member of the Detroit Blazers. Tilon is a member of the 767 Dominators, and Mishak is a member of the PSC Falcons. So let's give the team a round. The team is being coached by Donnie Robinson. Assistant coach is Yannick Ridges, and team manager. We'll be also working with an official in Mr. Our last year MVP official, or should I say the top official for last season, Mr. Augustus Juliana would be accompanying us. Again, I want to thank each and every one for, making themselves for questions.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Yuri John, and Jerry said media, but I see myself as sports administrator. Let me first commend KSI and all of you who are affiliated with putting that thing together. It speaks of Dominica's human resource stock in its ability to cater for sports, just at a local, but a regional and international level. And now, please bear with me. We've seen Thayala for 46 years after our independence, earning Dominica a spot at the top, and the goal in the top position for gold at the Olympics, which speaks of Dominica's ability to put athletes at the top of the world. After donkey years with Norbert Philip and Irving Schillingford, we saw the advent of Kevin Hodge and Alec Athenas on the international West Indies test team and also ODI team. And so Dominica has potential for players, but not just players. We have seen that Dominica has what it takes to organize, I am sure, a global games that will last a lifetime in the Kreyol Basketball Cup. There are many other nations in Africa that I'm almost certain would wish they would be a part of that inaugural activity that is being put on. And like one of our speakers indicated, St. Lucia, being a Creole speaking country, they would be want to be a part or wish they were part of this inaugural thing. And I'm sure that next year, whenever it is put on again, that will be getting more than just 4 countries. And this being said, my question is to the Ministry of Tourism. When my mind was being trained at the University of the West Indies, with a renewed desire for policies that are driven by data, and seeing that Benin has an international team, Benin has a professional basketball league, Benin being coming from the international arena in Africa, seeing that we have these people coming into Dominica, are there any mechanics in place to gather the data that we would need for us to really truly gauge the impact of such a tournament. So going in the future, that we could get responses to some of the sentiments that were echoed by our speakers, such as the cultural ambassador and Dr. Dublin. Are there anything that is in place now to gather data so that it could be used so that they could be used to push a policy in Dominica for sports tourism?
Right.
Yeah, because we went to high school together. I think you're trying to single me out. That's okay. But so at the Discover Dominica Authority, there are mechanisms data collection. It's something that our marketing department working on. Continually developing strategies because DDA is really the marketing arm of the Ministry of Tourism, and we must do market research to be able to create marketing strategies that will enable us to attract visitors to Dominica. So there are systems in place for the data collection for when any visitor comes to Dominica and specifically for any events that we would see an influx of visitors for any particular reason. The market research team also utilizes surveys. So for an event such as this, we would probably look at a target to survey the specific um, visitors who will be coming in for this event. And then normally we would break it down by territory to see where people are coming from, how long they stay, and then we can attribute that to the event that is actually taking place. That's what we would be able to provide after the tournament to say that, over the weekend of having the tournament in Dominica, that we saw an influx of visitors from St. Lucia, Martinique, Guadeloupe, or Antigua, and maybe, even beyond the Benin team, but maybe some supporters be able to have that data that we could use and build on. And I mean, as you know, technology is evolving, strategy is evolving. So it's something that is a continuous work in progress. And we are looking to enhance. But for the basic of, you know, looking at the impact that the event would have in terms of visitors coming into the country, and we also collect data from the hotels, the taxi drivers to some extent, from the restaurants to look at, what services the people coming in have used and how that, impacts the economy. Right? Does that satisfy you? Okay.
Okay, I have a question for head coach, president of the DABA. Donnie, we noticed that they had a preliminary squad of about 33, 35, 36 players there. So a number of overseas players were included in that preliminary squad. I'm just wondering what transpired as to why they're not part of the team. That's my first question.
All right, thank you. Listen, it's important to note that one of the main criteria for selecting the team is participation, right? So, yes, we were very enthusiastic. Services, but apparently not available. Were not available for practice and preparation, put it that way. So, as a result, we have to reward the people that are present and preparing for the tournament. So, there's no overseas-based player that has been that was at practice or was omitted. So anybody we select, but Rene is on the team. Yeah, I'm saying there's none that were at practice that has been omitted from the team, right? So that's important to know.
Okay, another question again. I noticed there are a lot of young players. I mean, that's a lot of credit, of course, to Dunstan Sports Division, all the other stakeholders who've been, you know, giving you that sort of nursery that you can tap into. But I'm a bit concerned with the absence of some of the senior players. If you look at the likes of the former MVPs like Iwan Thomas, Felix Thomas as well, Lennon Paul, we've seen the last attempt to hold a national team or to create a national team. You had some struggles with getting the same senior players on board. So is the DABA concerned that senior guys are not showing interest in wanting to represent Dominica?
Well, I will answer that from two folds. I'll answer that from being a senior player myself, and then from a coach level and for basketball. If we're going to develop basketball, we need a blend of senior and there are players my age and more that still play in the league and develop our teams, our core players. But one thing you don't want in a voluntary setup is to force players to attend national training just because they're senior. We get invited, they get recognized based on their performances. And as long as you have a system that rewards effort and participation, if you do not attend, if the interest is not there, there's not much we can do. On the flip side of that, you're going to find that the young players that we have will obviously have a learning curve that could either be accelerated and senior or accelerated if you have too many senior players and they don't get the exposure that they deserve. So you pick one, and obviously we would like to have a proper blend of that. But if availability doesn't sustain that, there's not much you can do. I think your best bet is building a foundation with the youth, and then hoping that you get some enthusiastic senior players like these guys have been around for. But other than that, you're going to have the inverse happening, where you have older players that are not necessarily interested and commanding presence because they are senior. And then you deteriorate and slow down that development rate for your younger players. It's something we have to be conscious of as we try to grow, and not just in sports, by the way. It's across the board. Having said that, just to let you know, the two previous MVPs prior to Leicester have both decided not to play basketball, not just not represent the national team. They are not even playing for their clubs this season. So it's while we might see it as a stepping back, I see it as a chance for younger players to step up. We just advertised a player scoring 63 points in a game, being the most talented and promising, one of the most talented young players. I think these players need their fair chance, and my concern is those players not being involved in basketball, not necessarily not playing for the national team.
Final question before Alian. How would you describe the senior team in terms of the style of play that we can expect? I know we have at least one big man, Rennie Williams. I can, say he's a genuine big man. The others are tall, but maybe when they get to the other competition, we might find out that they probably might be a bit short. But how would you describe, the style of play that you'd like to see from your national team?
So I grew up playing basketball. I was 6'5". I've always been 6'5". Played national team for Dominica, where our tallest player was 6'6", and we never lost a regional tournament. And we played against people at 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", college players all the time. And it always came down to we being the most hungry team. We being the most tenacious defense and having people that just want to play basketball. We have a system that is built on youth, and obviously our strength is going to be hopefully our energy and our hunger to just want to play. Now, my job as the coach is to be able to build that from a basis of having some structure, which a lot of our youth is struggling from. So that's going to be a challenge. What you will expect to see is every time somebody's on the court, you're going to get 150% of effort. We're going to have a lot of mistakes. We have young players, and we expect that. And that's one thing we, including the media, have to understand, that being critical at all points, not necessarily constructive, especially if you have young players that never been exposed. So the onus is on all of us. But what you will see from this team is effort. Defense is what we're going to be built on. Obviously, we are not going to be the biggest team in the league, but I can guarantee we're going to be the team with the best heart. And we're going to do the best to prepare for circumstances. The basketball comes down to preparing for your opposition, not just preparing to play basketball. You could be properly prepared for basketball, and your opposition come and razzle you out of what it is. So hopefully we can get some time to learn our opponents. The 2 days in between will give us some time to prepare specifically for the teams. But what we're going to be built on is defense, effort, and speed. And that's what we have. Offense is not something you can teach. Most of the players that are playing are stars in their clubs, so scoring is the easy part of the game. What we have to do now is try to build an identity, and that's going to be our defense and effort.
Yeah, greetings, Dunstan Maggie Peters, the Sports Vibes. Okay, just want to address this question to Miss Ayodele Andrew. In terms of the African nation Benin, over 14 million people population. Just would like to ask, has the what is in place, to take advantage of, that visibility that we're going to get because we have millions of people going to be viewing because the game is going to be streamed live. What do we have anything in place to take advantage of that opportunity? Our Kreyol festival or carnival to let these people get a taste of what we have to offer.
Megan, cut me with that one. But again, this coupled on with the authority, with the Dominican Festivals Committee, our focus is on promoting Dominica to the world. So we will see this as an opportunity to engage, because I'm sure not only Benin will be looking, but other West African countries and those who also share the Creole heritage. Um, so, I mean, we have places like Cameroon and the Ivory Coast as well. And one of the things about all countries who share the Creole heritage is that the music and the dance and the cultural aspect of it, I mean, you listen to music from Cape Verde, it sounds Dominican. You can listen to the music from the different countries, and there's so much similarity in the dance and even in the food. So, one of the things we can look at is encouraging our our Africans. When they come to visit Dominica, it's like being home culturally to have that experience, but in a different setting because of what Dominica offers as the nature island. And of course, we are coming up onto our World Korean Music Festival, and we are continually looking to expand our base and reach in terms of the audience that we attract. And Wadix, I think it was, spoke about have that direct route. That's something that we look at exploring so that we can encourage visitors from the African continent to come to Dominica for that experience. And then there's also the opportunity to build cultural exchange in terms of learning because of some of the things that we share, like for Carnival, in terms of our sensei and the influence on our band movie, our traditional Carnival costumes. So there's those opportunities to explore beyond the actual events themselves.
All right. I have another question. Congratulate the players who would have been selected to represent our nation. Um, no matter the results, I want to say that I'm already proud of these individuals. Now, my question is that Mr. Donny Robinson, not in the capacity as coach, but in the capacity as president of the DABA, and to Mr. Jerry Williams, I know we could take the mic on that question as general secretary of the said association. I look at the team, and over since 2003, I've been involved in coaching youth basketball players at the national level for the Winter Island School Games. And I'm proud that a number of these players that are on the team would have represented Dominica one year or another at the Winter Island School Games. I single out Jimal Peltier, who was instrumental, and Yawani Regis, who were instrumental in Dominica's victory when the games were last held in 2003 in Grenada. But While they are not the people that have represented Dominica would have been in a setting, now that they're on the national team in the past, they would have been in a setting where they would be representing Dominica. And so the butterflies, the anxiety that is expected for being in a tournament at that level representing the national team. Appreciate the value of what we refer to in sports administration as pathway programs for sports. So by the time our youth and sports is a young man thing, elite sport is a young man thing. That exposes our youth, so we prepare them for the opportunities that they are now being given at the senior national level. Some of them definitely are going to have anxiety. What is being put in place outside of the window and school games for us to have pathway programs so that these young individuals, when they now meet in their youth on a senior national team, they are not overwhelmed with the butterflies because they would have been exposed to it already. What is being put in place? Or are we going to consider now that we expect that the Kreyol Basketball Memorial Cup is going to be an, an ongoing thing? What is being put in place for us to have the pathway programs for sports, for basketball, really, in Dominica?
Right, Mr. John, question, very loaded, but I will start from the beginning. Um, I'm one of the proponents for club structure in this country. It's one of the things that we had again in our strategic plan 3 years ago. That especially in the advent of universal education, where sports has been sidelined in high schools, in particular. We all know that, regardless of the inter-school games being a staple. By the way,
You know that.
I'm a
And you understand the value.
historical, national team while I was playing for inter-school. I'm the one. So it's been around for a while. But what has not happened is since that vacuum of proper high school structured sports, especially basketball, we don't have that steady preparation because you might have the talent, but you don't have organized structure. Today, or basketball events in high school is it's just another event. It's not as it used to be. What we've done now, what we're trying to do is structure that would allow every club to have every level of basketball, from youth basketball to under 18 basketball. Matter of fact, just this week we got invited to an under 18 in St. Martin, which we are looking at, where we can try to pair those players. So they're man. The second part of that question is tournaments like these are pathway tournaments. Tournaments like these are here now, while the others are still in the making, like the club structure been developed. So this is about Kreyol basketball last year, where you had about 80% or 70% of the current team players playing in the Kreyol basketball. These are powerful tournaments. And we have to start because it is like say, the young sport. And if these are the tournaments that are existing today, what we can do is embrace them and use this for hopefully when we see these tournaments come back around, we might have tournaments come back around. We could then 3 years from now, we're going to say the same Jamal, he can play basketball. Yes. So it is about. So while we are trying to parallel develop the club structure and encourage, and this year, all the premier teams must be a registered club policy. And next year it will be maybe a second division team, female team, because the reach of the DABA is as far as the clubs and immediate community goes. The control environment that existed in high schools don't exist anymore, where you could take a kid and teach them because they must listen to you as a sports teacher. That don't exist anymore. So we have to extend that to the group structure. And that's what we are trying to do in place, to provide that kind of formal setting where you can learn it properly. Because the tournament is one thing. What we need is the structure to get you prepared. You can actually prepare for a tournament in a classroom. Try away of that if you have the proper setting, if you have the proper teaching, if you have the proper things in place. So what we are doing is trying to roll out and implement every pillar of our strategic plan, step by step. While we are challenged, we continue to believe that is the best way to do it. And from the cultural side, I just want to add it. I lived in Africa for 9 years. And ironically, one of the few countries I did not visit is Benin. So I'm looking forward to meeting the Gulf so I can share my African experience. Right? 9 years I lived. So I think I see it as a connection. And so to answer the question finally, this is this is one of the challenges that is the quickest development.
Okay, so before we end, I just want to add to what Donnie just said that key in our coaching staff is Mr. Yannick Ridges. And as we know, Yannick is also the head coach of the inter-school basketball team. So there's how should I put it? A synergy, right? So he brings these players along with that similarity of voice where they are comfortable and merge it with the head coach, which gives you that based on his experience and vision of where he wants to see basketball. So, as you said, it's creating a pathway, but we cannot be so loose. We have to really tighten the pathway based on the resources that we have presently working with. Yep. Any more questions? All right, so no more questions. I want to again to members of the head table taking their time out of their busy schedule to be with us. To the media, thank you for being here with us. And to the public, I want to say thank you for viewing, listening. And remember, this Saturday, it's all road leads to the Massac Indoor Sports Complex. And when we finish from Massac, the next day, we're going to be marching on African Day. So, and then we're going to take the boat the way our ancestors did going across to Guadeloupe. So we're visiting what they went through, not in chains, but freely as we embrace. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.